Hi, I really wanted to make a sketchbook review for this one. This one was strictly for 2019, so I was already 18 at this point. This was mostly to brainstorm stuff for my most recent novel that I'm working on right now. This was a draft 0, as it were. A draft 1 I wrote in 2020, and I'm currently working on draft 2, as you know. This is Anatoly, this is Elena, this is Sveta. Some snowflakes that I put some effort into. This was blank, but I added the washi tape later. Okay, so here I was brainstorming some of his backstory, because in draft 0 Anatoly was the villain, so I was trying to give him a bit of a backstory as to why he would be so vengeful. So obviously, like, his parents died and stuff, but he was also very, very paranoid. I was trying to illustrate it. He was very panicking and like, why? This is written in Romanian, by the way. Again, his backstory and the way he relates to the other characters. For example, here is Radek. He doesn't get along with him. Yeah, this was a sketch for another story at the time. I was thinking about writing a medieval story. I really had this idea. It was supposed to be kind of an enemies to lovers kind of dynamic, but not really, like an arranged marriage, and this prince guy was very arrogant and whatever, and the girl didn't like it. But they also learned stuff about each other. For example, here we learned in his backstory that he had smallpox as a kid, and he's very self-conscious about his physical appearance because he's got like the smallpox scars on his face and stuff. Here is a fan art of some medieval illustration. I really like. Especially there was some like German codex from the 14th century. I really like that, and the characters as well were supposed to be kind of 14th century-ish, kind of like the plague times. Okay, this was brainstorming for my main novel. Again, the siblings, Anatoly, Sveta, Elena. Bit of backstory for Sveta and Radek. They met in military school or whatever and fell in love, and the dad was very approving of the union, so that was nice. Anatoly and Elena arguing about some random thing. In this version he was very afraid of blood, so he had like a very irrational phobia of the color red or whatever, so he tried to ban traditional clothing that contained red and like replace it with blue, which his sister considered to be an absolutely insane idea. Some fictional family trees. Again, some sketches. The medieval guy. Some random stuff. A random 18th century design. Some more of Anatoly's backstory, and I think this is very important because here I introduced the dynamic with his uncle Grigory. Here Anatoly is being very fidgety and stuff. He's doing like some hand not tics, I guess, which was meant to show that he's basically neurodivergent and stuff. And so was Ingrid, also very fidgety and distracted and whatever. and their parents consider them weird and stuff. But they meet at some point and they have a bit of a moment. Oh, wow, you do the same tics and gestures, and you're kind of like me. You know, basically they discover that they're both neurodivergent. And yeah, they like each other, they fall in love, they get married. Again, some backstory. This was a scene that I was planning ahead, and I indeed wrote it in draft 1. Basically, Ingrid has to go away because it's more and more dangerous at the palace, but she kind of doesn't want to. But she eventually goes away. Anatoly is feeling increasingly guilty and basically imagines that they were all dead because of him. That's not true, but that's what he imagined. So he goes out into the snow and just walks off randomly. And what happens next, I think, is a bit of a spoiler, but I'm just presenting the pages very quickly. Again, planning for my book, outlines, character relationships, the dynamics, all of that stuff. A scene that I rewrote many times, basically the confrontation between Anatoly and one of the villains. One of the villains being the leader of the third revolutionary movement. And yeah, a very spoilery scene, I think. Some, again, outlines for my novel. Outlines. A political compass, which, as you know, I've made one in 2020 and I've made the most recent one in 2022. You should check that out. Another scene idea, confrontation between Sveta and Anatoly. A rewrite of the previous scene with the confrontation with one of the... Oh no, actually this is confrontation between Anatoly and Kestas. Outlines, character profiles, character dynamics. A rewrite of that scene with the confrontation with one of the villains. A continuation of that. You might recognize that I posted this picture at one time. This is Gintare, this is Zhidrunas, this is Meline, I call her Melania in the draft 2, and this is Einars. Again, some dramatic scenes or whatever. This is, she gets injured but he saves her or whatever, but I scrapped that scene. Outlines again. A very emo looking art of Anatoly. This was when I was very obsessed with the song, what was it called? Anyway, the chorus goes like that. Maybe I'm defective, but maybe I'm dumb. I'm sorry for what I've done. Maybe I'm bad-natured, but maybe I'm young. I'm sorry for what I've done. Yeah, okay, I actually wrote it. Nothing but thieves, sorry. I think it fit a lot. I'm going to make an AMV with this one. This is a comic I wrote directly in English. Basically, Meline argues with Gintare that about veganism or something like that. Okay, outlines again. Outlines, character dynamics, outlines again, some more outlines. Oh, this was a sketch of like a strand of hair, which I found funny. Again, the washi tape added very recently, and the back cover features several characters. This is Kestas, this is Gidronas, Gintare, and I think Radek and Ingrid. This is Anatoly, Kestas, Radek, and my signature. So there you go.